Must look relaxed.
Do you see if I came up? Oh, we're live. I'm hoping we're live. I'm testing it.
All right.
Yes, I do have them on the main screen. I'm great. I'm getting ready to go to me. So hold on. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Friday evening hangout. And this evening we have guests coming on. I'm getting an echo. Okay. Oh, I know what that is. Hold on, y'all. I know what it is. I know just what that is. Okay. Okay. Now, hello. I'm sorry, everyone, but I'm still learning this hangout, and I'm getting good at it. And this evening we have guests coming on. But let me tell you about what they're relationship experts. And one thing that I always say is that, and I teach the thought and action processes of business to success. And the Millionaire Mastermind Institute is an institute for entrepreneurs and future entrepreneurs. And why I saw it important that I bring on Cynthia and James Greene is because they're relationship experts. And one thing for sure is your business too, along with your personal life, is a relationship.
That's right.
So we're going to feed y'all. We're going to have a conversation. Get your pencil, get your paper, get your pad, and get ready, because we're going to do this evening, and it's going to be a very interesting conversation we're going to have and discussion. I'm going to let them do what they do because they're the experts. I mean, they're the experts at it. I'm just experienced at it. Because at our age, you get experience as life goes on. Every day is a lesson. When you look back at what you've done, what you've gone through, and look at the lessons you learned, see, it's when you realize what you don't know, and you go and learn what you don't know, it grows and builds you. And I had my heart broken many times. I guess I done broke maybe one or two, so.
3 or 4.
And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. and Mrs. Greene. We're going to have a little conversation. How y'all doing this evening?
We're doing fantastic.
Oh, I can see that. Look at that big, pretty smile. I don't know which one of y'all smile the brightest.
This is our Friday night date night, so this is our snuggle time. So
you know what?
We're spending our date night with you.
Hey, man, that's a good date to have. You giving this to the nation.
Look, you can be our chaperone.
I'll do that. I'll be your chaperone. So, let me ask you a question. First, tell us something about you two. Tell us why y'all got into what you got into and what it is that you do.
Wow, how did we get into what we got into? Well, first of all, before we got married, I told James we were going to be doing something with marriage. I said, I don't know when, I don't know how, but we were engaged, and I don't know why that came to me, but it did. So I told him that. He thought I was crazy, but voila, almost 10 years later, here we are doing what I prophesied to him.
See, the Holy Spirit spoke to her, but it surely didn't speak to me.
But you know what it was? See, you know the secret to keeping your lady happy. The 2 magic words. Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
So anyway, 2 years ago, April, I lost my job. And so when I lost my job, I didn't know what I was going to do next. I was looking for a job. And then a friend called me about the third day after I was home sulking. And she was like, Cynthia, what's up? How you doing? And I was like, girl, I lost my job. And she was like, awesome. What a great opportunity.
That's right.
And so she got excited. And I'm thinking she's like, what in the world's going on? But anyway, I ended up hiring her as my life coach. And she walked me through the process of building this business, of how to build a business. And so that's how the business came about.
But for me, first of all, I didn't say awesome. I'm like, what? but actually for me, it was a whole different reason, because, you know, when you get married and one starts a business, the other's in the business automatically. You have no choice. You have no choice. But then I said, okay, how can I help out? So I said, okay, I got to help out, do something. So what I did was reflect on my life. See, William, this is not my first marriage. This is my second. Okay, not my second marriage. This is my final marriage.
All right, all right.
So growing up, you know how I guess I'm from the old school, and all I knew was how to provide. And I know a lot of people out there can relate to that. We think a happy marriage is the man just providing, going to work, paying the bills, buying a home, buying a car, kids in private school, whatever. You think that is a great marriage. Nope. And that's what I thought.
And that's what you did.
And that's what I did in my first marriage. So I thought I had a great marriage, but I really didn't. I didn't listen to her. I didn't nurture the relationship. I didn't support her. I did none of that. So I was working 4 jobs at the time. I had one during the day, one at night, one on the weekend, and I was in the military reserve. So I had 4 streams of income, but I was never home. I never did nothing with her. I didn't support her. I did nothing. So one day I came home from my second job and my house was empty. She had packed up, took the kids, and moved out. And what that led to was my car getting repossessed, my house getting foreclosed on. So when I thought of all that, I said, okay, I'm going to join this business so I can let the men know that I don't want that to happen to them. I don't want them to fall into that. Well, I'm providing, I'm taking care of mine. You know how they say, I'm paying for mine. It's not only that, it's so much more than that. So I just want to get the message out there that there's so much more than that. And that's why I'm in this business 100%.
You know, what that reminds me of, James, you know, and I talked to my wife. We're best buds, just like you and your missus.
Mm-hmm.
I asked my wife one day, I said, baby, what is it I can do to make our relationship better? What is it I'm not doing I need to do? And her answer almost knocked me to the floor. She said, baby, I wish you knew how to relax. When you work 24/7, everything to you is work. You love me, I know you do, because you know when I'm with you, you hug me. I'm always in your arms. You touch me, you hug me, you kiss me, but you don't know how to relax. You know, and that is upsetting to her that all I'm doing is working.
Right. So let me ask you, because it's not that you're uptight. It's just that you're always busy and you don't have time to sit down with her on the couch and just relax.
Yeah, but hey, man, that was a few years ago, man. You know what I'm saying?
So you got it right now, right, William. You got it right now.
It surprised me what her answer was. You know, I thought she would tell me, you know, something like, I don't know, you know, a problem or something. That wasn't a problem. That was just a little issue.
Right.
But you got to ask those questions. And one thing I always say, you know, never be afraid to ask a question.
Right.
And accept the answer of no.
And that is what we like to talk about, is communication. You always ask the question, is there anything I can do better? What can I do to make you happier? Because you got to know, because if you don't talk, you'll never know.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, at church, I think it was this past Sunday, maybe it was last Sunday, our pastor he was talking about knowing your true self and coming out of what you've been dealing with in your past and growing and moving forward. And he was saying that's one of the reasons why God gave us spouses. And he told everybody, he said, I want you to go home and I want you to ask your spouse, what can I do to make me better? Like ask them about you. What is one thing that I need to work on? So I came home and I asked my husband that about me, and he told me, but he didn't ask me that about until about a week or so later when I brought it up.
See,
that
because
he never asked.
No, what it is, William, is that we don't see our flaws. You know, we don't see what's wrong with us. It takes an outside person to see what's actually wrong with us.
Sometimes,
yes.
some of the things.
But here's the thing. Now, one thing that my wife and I, we do, because I always tell her I love her.
Right.
And she may say, yes, baby, I know you do. I don't expect her to tell me that she loves me back. That's how I felt right there, felt giving it to her. If I tell her I love you, that's me telling her how I feel at that moment that I want to give to her. She doesn't have to tell me I love you because I said it. She tells me that all the time. I love you. And I say, baby, I know you do.
Right.
It's change. You know, I love you. Well, baby, I love you too. No, she was in the mood to say that, and I'm going to enjoy her mood.
That's right.
Her feelings that she had right then. And when I tell her, you know, that I love her, she says, baby, yeah, I know you do.
And that's about,
do I show you enough that I love you?
Right.
And that's part of that, just receiving and not always feeling like you got to give and take. You know, marriage is not give and take. Marriage is about you just giving out the goodness of your heart. And so that's what you guys are expressing when you do that. You don't have to give back to me every time I give to you. I'm just giving from my heart.
That's right.
And it's about telling them you love them, because a lot of people, they don't say it, but they say, oh, you know I do. I show you every day. I pay the bills. I go to work. But they don't say it.
But some people want to hear it.
Some people need to hear it. Not want to. Hey, some people need to hear it.
That's true. That's true.
Well,
because it ain't just your actions.
One thing I learned too, you never, ever put your business in the street.
That's right.
That's right.
I don't know what kind of problems you're going to, what's going on privately in your home. You always make the world think that there could be nothing no better than what you have. Y'all could be fussing, fighting every day. Y'all could be sleeping in separate bedrooms. The world needs not to know that.
That's right.
The world needs to know that everything is good.
Unless it's a testimony that you've already overcome. Because James and I, we believe in being transparent in Marriage Built to Last. So as we tell our story, as we share our principles, we share past experiences, but it's to show that we are human. We have had difficulties, but we've triumphed and conquered them. So now it's a testimony.
Right. So what we try to do is not only tell people how to be married, we like to show them. We like to show them by our actions, because a lot of people look and they're visual and they want to see what you're doing. So we try to show them what we're doing.
Go ahead and tell them, give the audience some of the things, the little things that they need to do that most people don't do. I mean, y'all, the experts, what's some of the things that you need to do? You know, because like I said, it's not really the big things you do that makes you successful. It's the little things you don't do to make you fail.
Right. So one for me is have a regular date night, because when you don't have a date night, you know, you can get busy. Just think of this. When you're dating and you're not married yet, you're with that person all the time. Either you're working or you're working and sleeping, but you're either on the phone with that person or you're with that person. And then when you get married, the routine sets in. You live together. You got chores like laundry and cooking dinner. You go to work, and that date night takes a back seat. You know, it goes on a back burner, especially for that romance. And you want to keep that romance going. You want to also have shared memories. And to do all that, you have to have a regular date night. We date all the time. Actually, tonight is our date night, and we're spending date night not only with you, but to everyone out there that's listening.
That's right. Happy date night.
Well, I'm so excited y'all spending y'all's date night with me. Otherwise, I'm y'all's entertainment tonight.
Yeah.
Instead of watching the movie and everything, y'all spending time with me and my audience. And, you know, we really appreciate that, because I know how special date night is. You got to have it. You got to have it.
Go ahead, baby. Another one.
No, as a matter of fact, when talking about date night, since James brought it up, we actually are used to having, we're starting it back, a monthly date night. It's called The Perfect Date. So each month we're going to have really unique date nights where couples can come out to our events and join us. And so it's things like we're going to have a romantic evening of a cooking demonstration. How are we coming through?
I put that out to ask everyone.
And we're going to have like a couples boot camp where we go to this obstacle course, and you're going to learn relationship techniques with your spouse as you go through the obstacle course. We're going to have a sexy couples exercise date night.
We're going to have a painting.
Yeah, we're going to have paint and sip, but our sips are mocktails, not cocktails.
So we do this.
A lot of different ideas.
And we do this so couples can join us, so they can actually get in a routine of dating each other.
Right, and giving them
Yeah.
some different types of options, and also get to know some other couples who are like-minded.
Right, and that you want to do. You want to be around it like-minded couples. And when you do these type of things together, it allows your relationship to grow. And that's all we try to do. As relationship experts or relationship strategists, we just try to get them enough strategies so their relationship can grow. Go to that next level. Go and grow and grow.
I want everyone to know that we have online with us James and Cynthia Greene, who are relationship experts. What we want you to do is, if you look up in the left-hand corner, up there where it says Google, right beside it, you have a little blue thing with 3 lines. If you click that, you can chat, and then look to the bottom right-hand corner and chat with us.
Yeah, if you got questions,
if you have any questions, give us questions. You know, or just talk to us. Let us know what's going on with you. We want you to chat with us. We have, like I said, the relationship experts here with us this evening, because we all need help. Everybody needs coaching in something. In everything of life, you need a coach. Well, you got a chance to, even if you're single, like I say, you got to be what it is you're looking for.
That's right.
What do you want in a mate? Well, you got to be that first. You got to be ready. Mr. and Ms. Greene, carry on, give us a little more. Tell us what more we need to do and what else people need to do to make sure they have a happy relationship.
Well, William, James and I actually have 7 principles of communications for successful relationships that we like to talk about, because we feel like these are some of the main principles that can help take your relationship to another level. This is for any type of relationship. It doesn't matter if you're in a social or networking environment. If you're on a 9-to-5 job, you can do this. Will help you with your communicating with your business colleagues and your boss. This will help you with your spouse, your fiance, someone that you're dating, trying to get to know them. It will help you with your children. You know, if you're having a conflict with your neighbor, these 7 tips will help you in any of those areas. And so as we go through these 7 tips, we want you to get your pen and paper. We want you to take notes, and we want you to we want you to dig in and ask us questions if you have them as we go along.
Right, because as you talk about it, William, it's not only are we married, we're in business together. So these principles work in business also. So the first one is you need to be open, because when you're open, it allows you to be transparent, and it allows you to share everything. And that's what you want to do, share. And what is communication? It's sharing. You're sharing information. I'm talking to you, you talking to me. We're going back and forth. And what that does is it ensures quality in what you're saying, and it encourages compatibility, because you're actually talking about the same subject. And what that does is that allows you to see the other person's point of view, and that's what you want.
Yes, and so when I think about being open, I go back to when you asked me about how we started this business. And so as I was working on the business, I knew that I had a different change of heart about going back to a 9-to-5. But I wanted to see what James had to think about it. So I want to see how open he would be with me when I asked him, when I told him I am not called to a 9-to-5 anymore. And so he's like, what are you trying to say?
Okay, I wasn't open to that idea.
He was like, what are you trying to say?
I'm gonna bet you, Jane, you didn't say no. You just said, baby, let me think about this.
No, I couldn't say no, because I want my marriage to be good, be happy.
But honestly, he had to think about it a few days, or maybe a few weeks. No, it took him a few days. It took him maybe about a week. You know, he talked to me about it. We had an open conversation, and we talked about it. And I could see the doubt on his face. I could see him contemplating and just thinking about probably a whole lot of things. But he did come back to me a few days later, but we'll talk about that later.
Right. And so with that first principle, open, I always like to give little nuggets. So here's a nugget for open. When you're open, there's no place to hide. Let me say it again. When you're open, there's no place to hide. You can't hide behind words. You can't hide behind what you're saying. You can't hide behind anything. And I like that.
Yep, that's so true.
And so the next principle is you need to be honest and truthful. And tell me that's not right. Because when you're honest and truthful, what that does is that allows you to allows you to be, let's see, what is it? To
let the other person know how you really feel.
It allows you to keep it real. And that's what you want. How many people you know say, like females, girl, I'm just keeping it real. But when you're honest and truthful, it allows you to be real, and you're not being fake or phony. And that's what you don't want. You don't want people to think that what you're saying is not true. And see, what I actually try to teach on William is body language. I teach body language, and you can tell if a person actually is being truthful if you notice their feet, because your feet, along with your legs, they're the most honest part of your body, and people don't realize that. So if you're talking to somebody, try to glance down at their feet. If their feet are turned away from you, they're not being truthful, and they're not really being honest.
So when I think about James talking about being truthful and honest, I have to go back to that conversation about me not working a 9 to 5. So I saw the
she wasn't truthful.
No, I was being truthful, but I wanted to hear his opinion, and so he didn't tell me the full truth when we talked about it, because I could see the doubt on his face, because he's like, oh, I hear what you're saying, if that's how you feel. But I didn't feel like he was totally sold on that topic. He wasn't totally sold on me, that concept of me making that move. So I gave him time to think it over, mull it over. I didn't pressure him about it. I didn't bring it back up. I wanted him to come back to me when he was ready. And so that did happen. And again, we'll expound on that a little later as we go through the 7 principles. Right. But sometimes we feel a little fearful about being open and honest and truthful. But what is fear? Fear is just not taking that step to say what it is that's on your heart. So sometimes you're afraid to say something, but when you say it, what were you ever afraid of?
That's right.
There was nothing to be afraid of, honestly.
It tastes, one thing for sure, when you're telling the truth, it tastes so much better.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Because like I always like to say in this little nugget that truth comes from understanding, and understanding from compassion. Because you don't know, when you're telling somebody the truth, it could hurt them. So you have to have compassion, and that comes from understanding. So you got to understand where the person is at, where their train of thought is, where their mindset is, what topic you're talking about. So you have to really be careful when you're telling the truth, and have understanding and compassion when you're telling them that.
Right. And also, when I was talking about the conversation with James and I think about, we say being honest. Sometimes it's being honest is telling the whole story. So if like when we had that conversation about me not working, him not telling me everything he's thinking is not really being honest, because you're keeping some things back. But that's okay, because sometimes not that it's okay, but sometimes it takes people a little longer to process things. So
yes.
Principle number 3.
Don't expect the instant answer.
Exactly. And that's why I couldn't give her an instant reply, because I had to process it.
Right.
Yes.
And I was floored when she said, I'm not going back to work.
He never said that. And I didn't say I wasn't going back to work. I said I felt like I was not called to go back to a 9 to 5. I felt like I was called to marriage built to last full time, is what I said.
And she said, I didn't answer because I was laying on the floor passed out.
Okay, that leads us into
principle number 3, which is be direct and clear. And that is one of my favorites, because when you're direct and clear,
that's what he is.
It allows that there will be no miscommunication between the two of you. And how many of you know, men and women, we're just different. Women sometimes try to give you ideas, and we don't understand it.
We go up the hill and
around the corner, and we go straight forward. Like, you can't tell me that you're thirsty and you want me to get you a glass of water, and all you're saying is I'm thirsty, because I'll turn around and say I'm thirsty too. What are you saying? If you want me to get you something to drink, just tell me what you tell me what you want.
Honey, can you go get me a glass of
Whatever.
water?
So
hey, how about handing me one of them Izzy's out the fridge
so
over
when
there?
you're direct and clear, that allows you to be upfront with the person, and that's what you want. You want to be upfront and be straightforward, and that's what being direct and clear. That's what that allows you to be.
Right. And so that's what I had to do with James, was be direct and clear with him. I had to lay it out on the table exactly what I was saying and what that looks like. So that means that we had to sit down and rethink and relook at the income coming in and the money that had to go out to pay bills. We had to be very clear on what this looks like. And so, this goes to couples who are in business. Like James said, if one is in business, you're really both in business together. Because when it comes to the finances, if I'm self-employed and a full-time at-home entrepreneur, I'm new in this business, I'm not bringing in income, well, then he has to be a part of the whole picture, because then we got to look at our resources and we've got to come up with a new plan. And so he's got to be on board with what I'm doing, and I got to be on board with how he's looking at things. You know what I'm saying? So we have to work together as a team, whether this business was a couple's business or not. Right.
Because being direct and clear, it definitely, you need to be that way in a business. Because as you said, not only are we married, we're in business together. So we have to be straightforward with each other and clear with each other, because you want your business to thrive. You want it to succeed. And the only way it'll do that if you're straightforward and you're direct and clear. And like I always say with this little nugget, and you might want to write this down, the more direct you are, the clearer you will be by far.
Ah, yeah.
So you have to be direct. And then when you're direct, that makes the other person see crystal clear what you're saying, and it's easier for them to understand.
And one thing about what you're saying that people got to understand, that being direct don't mean being, straight blunt. It's not what you say, it's how you say what you say. So you got to put it in a manner that's not degrading, that's not hurting them, or that's not belittling them. Talk to them, help them, guide them, and listen to what they say. Sometimes, that's why God gave you one mouth and two ears.
That's right.
That's right.
Sometimes you got to think that I'm not always going to be the one that's right.
You're so right. And that leads us to principle number 4, is what you just said. You need to watch your words.
Yeah.
And that is so true, because what does the Bible say? There's life and death in the power of the tongue. And words really can hurt you. And so you need to watch your words. You need to choose the correct words, because you don't want to choose words that hurts the other person's feelings, that makes them feel upset. You want to use the correct words. And like I was saying when I tell people about body language, their emotional state is their torso, their hips, their abdomen, and their chest. So you can watch that area. And if you're starting to hurt the person's feelings with your words, what they usually do is they'll fold their arms. They'll cover up their midsection. And that shows you're starting to actually hurt their feelings.
Wow. William, you remember back in the day when they said the little nursery rhyme, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me?
That's a big lie. That was a big lie.
Exactly. That's what I tell everybody. You guys who are listening, who have small children, don't teach your kids that nursery rhyme, because it's not true. Especially today, how they really, really talk about bullying and cyberbullying. Words do hurt. And so, when it comes to our kids, or even, if you're in line at the grocery store and somebody bumps into you and you turn around and you give them that look, or you say something, something really nasty or mean to them, you don't know what they may have been going through that day. You may hurt someone's feelings. But with our kids, we can't say things to them like, get over there with your dirty self, or, you're so stupid. How do you do things like that? When you say things like that, you hurt a child's psyche. You hurt their very inner core. And same thing with our spouses. If your spouse says something really mean to you, sometimes we say things and we really don't mean it like that. Sometimes James may say something and I'll say, that hurt my feelings. And he'll be like, really? And I'm like, yes, it did.
That's why I would just rather throw the sticks and the stones.
And when you throw them sticks and stones, you better make sure there's no brick.
Yeah.
He better not throw sticks and stones this way.
But you know, they talking about, you were talking about nursery rhymes. And you know, I never did care a whole lot for nursery rhymes. Because I'm still trying to find when Jack and Jill went up the hill. I'm still trying to find somewhere where water runs uphill.
Yeah.
They were going uphill for something else. It wasn't no pail of water.
It wasn't no, yeah. And how did he fall down and break his crown? What was he doing? He shouldn't even have fell.
Hey, he might have been pushed.
Because she was mad. He wasn't listening. That's what it was.
Hey, when they went up that hill, it was not the fetching no water, baby.
You got that right. You got that right.
Okay.
So that leads us to what? Number 5?
Mm-hmm.
And number 5 is use words that edify. And that's what you want to do. When you're choosing the correct words, you need to use words that edify. What you want to do is use words that builds the person up and strengthens them. What you don't want to do is tear them down and make them feel like they're being attacked. Because what that is that's actually a form of verbal abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So what you need to do is use words that edify and build them up. And what that does is that draws you actually closer together. And that makes your relationship stronger.
Right. And you know what? I have to share a recent something recent that happened. I don't even think I shared it with you because you were at work Sunday. So I was talking to someone and they were talking.
Wait, you ain't shared with me?
Not yet. You're gonna learn now.
So I'm getting the same time William getting it.
Right,
All right.
Right. So same time the whole world is getting
Yeah.
it. So I was talking to a group of people and this lady was sharing how she was just crying because she was so upset. Her and her son was just not doing good in school. He's getting in trouble. He was making terrible grades. And she said, and I said, and I bet you're arguing with him all the time. And she looked at me like surprised and she just broke into tears. And so I told her, I said, I know what you're going through. I went through those things with my teenage son. I said, but guess what? I realized that I had to change me and not him. Like if I'm the mother and I'm yelling at my child all the time, then all he sees is an angry mother. Yeah. He doesn't see the fun, loving, warm, kind mother. So I started saying things to edify him. Oh, son. And so I told her to do these things with her son. I said, don't yell at him anymore. I said, what I would suggest that you do when you go home, you hug your son and you tell him you love him. I said, he's probably going to look at you crazy. I said, and from that day, and you let him know, I'm not going to yell at you anymore. We're not going to yell. We're going to have a great relationship. And she thought that was kind of crazy and weird, but I saw her in the bathroom. I had just met the lady. I went in the bathroom and lady's like, oh, there you are. She said, I looked for you all over church and I didn't see you. And she said, I am so glad I ran into you before I went home because you are the person I want to see. She said, my son has just been coming to me and showing me this and showing me that and talking to me. I said, oh, your relationship turned around. She said, yes, it did. She says, I'm so excited.
You know why that happened? It happened because she started talking to him and not at him.
At him, absolutely. But she needed someone to speak into her life to open up her eyes and see what was happening. Because I know you know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Well, when you get off that wheel and you start doing something different, you look at the log in your eye and change you. And that's how you can affect that other person and have a better relationship. You can do that with your neighbor. That neighbor that you've been not getting along with since forever. Y'all been fussing over the same old thing. Stop fussing about it. Mm-hmm. Just let it go. And find another way to deal with it. Start speaking to your neighbor. Hi. Instead of focusing on the issue, focus on building a relationship with your neighbor. Same thing with your colleague. So use words that edify. If you start speaking life into people, start speaking positive things, it can and will turn that relationship around. That's
right, because actually you're speaking from the heart, and that means you're speaking of love. And that's what you need to do. Speak love to a person and speak from the heart. And like I always like to give this nugget, just remember this little nugget, that it takes strength to edify and weakness to attack. Anybody can attack. A weakling usually attacks. but it takes real strength to edify and build the person up and strengthen that person.
That's right. And number 6.
And number 6 is be an effective listener. And what we just talked about that, William, because it all goes together. When you use the correct words, use words to edify, now you need to become an effective listener. Because if you listen, listening is the key to communication, especially effective listener. That shows that, there won't be no miscommunication, between the two. And it's even good sometimes to repeat it back to make sure that they understand it. Like you say, oh, this is what I'm hearing. Is this what you're actually saying? So what you need to do is, because when you become an effective listener, that allows the other person to know that you're really listening to them and that you're actually paying attention. And that's what you want. No miscommunication. And like I always talk about body language, watch the person to see if they're listening, because if someone is listening effectively, they will be leaning in. They will lean into you. That's how you know that they're really
on my elbows. I'm leaning in.
That's why he's on his elbows. He's leaning in. But that's how you can tell if a person actually is listening effectively or not.
That's true, William.
But that is true, what you just said.
And so, since James and I have been doing these communication principles and really working on helping others with their relationship, it's helping our relationship to grow. Because even though I've always felt like I was a really good listener, I've really been putting on my listening ears. And sometimes that means not talking when the other person is talking and really giving them a chance to say what's on their heart, what's on their mind. So I have an exercise for everybody out there. This is something that I challenge you to do this tonight. You can do it right now. But when you get off this webinar, I want you to try this. So you take 2 chairs and you let the chairs face each other, and you and that person sit in the chair facing each other. Now, if you're husband and wife or mother's child, I say be knee to knee. Let your knees touch. You can hold hands and you look in each other's eyes. And I want you to have a timer. Most people are using their cell phone, but you can get the little hourglass that's in your board games, and those are usually a 1-minute timer. I want you to set the timer for 1 minute. And I want you to allow the other person to talk and just speak into your life something positive, or let them talk about a conversation that you've been wanting to have, and you can't say anything. You don't make any comments, you don't make any sounds, and you try not to make any facial expressions that might distract them. And then once that minute is up, you reset the timer and they allow you to do the same thing. And then when it's over, then you can have a conversation about what each of you just said. What that does is, one thing I want you to do while you're listening to them, try not to think ahead of what they're going to say next. Try not to think ahead of what you have to say. Try not to be judgmental while they're talking. And also try to be listening with an open ear, so that when you have that conversation, you're not just focusing on what you heard the way you thought it was meant. Use those words that we just talked about, those I statements, to be clear and direct about what you thought you heard they said. So I challenge you guys to try that tonight.
Yeah, you listen to learn, not to reply.
Exactly.
Listen just to learn what they're saying, and you don't listen just to give a reply. That's what most people mistake.
And like the Bible says, be slow to speak and swift to hear. So you need to make sure that you're listening to what that person is saying, so that it doesn't get misinterpreted. And like I always like to give this nugget, is that you have 2 ears, so you need to listen twice as much as you speak.
That's good. That's good.
Amen.
That's
so
good.
Our last principle is, don't be judgmental. Because I know a lot of us always rush to judgment. We always want to perceive what the other person is saying, and we rush to judgment. So what you need to do is wait till they're finished, let them complete what they're saying. You take your time, take your breath, get your thoughts together, and that allows you to give back constructive criticism. And that's what you need. You don't need to rush to judgment, because we all do that, and that's how things get turned around and things get all twisted, because you already have an idea of what they're saying or what they're going to say, and you just cut them off. And I used to be good at that, William. I used to just cut the people off and say, oh, I know what you're saying. This is what you're saying. And there's times when I got it totally wrong.
He's still a work in progress.
All right, yeah, I'm still working on that one.
Hey, man, well, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect.
Exactly. No, but you know, when he talks about being judgmental, okay, this is controversial between us. I think about when you're driving and someone speeds up beside you and then cuts over in front of you. Well, I personally don't think that everybody who does that's just the way they drive. Sometimes people may really be in a rush because they just got a terrible phone call that somebody they love is being rushed to the hospital or in the hospital. The child's school may have called, the child got hurt. You never know. And so we're so quick to jump to judgment. Some people.
All right, that's me.
and get an attitude, and you're thinking ugly things in your head, or you're saying ugly things out loud. But sometimes when we're driving, why not just have grace? If somebody wants to jump in front of you, oh well, let it go.
Okay, if they're in the turning lane and they know they're in the turning lane, you don't come zooming up in the turning lane and then cutting in front of somebody. So if I'm judgmental on that, I'm sorry.
But you know, go ahead, William.
You got to know how to chill out. I mean, I'm so courteous when I drive.
Me too.
That, you know, because I learned how to drive professionally, because I used to drive the city transit for 10 years. I learned how to drive and how to be courteous. And so like people's always getting in front of me. I'm saying, okay, because I don't tailgate. You know,
right.
I drive courteous. If I see you coming over, I'm gonna give it to you. All I've done is gave a blessing.
That's right.
Look at it as I'm not gonna let that person know. Then you're taking a blessing away that God gave you an opportunity to give a blessing. So you got to look at what you do. And here's the whole thing about it. Now you just gave what, 7? You gave 7, am I correct?
Yes, 7 communication principles for successful relationships.
And all of these even goes to life, goes to your clients in business.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And we use it in our business.
Only go to the relationship of you and your mate.
Right.
Also applies to your business.
Yes, it does.
Life, to your everyday living.
Yes.
Instead of getting angry and fussing, just, you know, here's the thing about an argument. I always tell you, an argument is the two people trying to figure out who is right.
That's it.
When you sit down and have a discussion, it's about what is right.
That's so true.
And that's with your relationship. Business, personal, it makes no difference. You've got to start working on you, because the more you change, the more things around you change.
You change.
Absolutely.
And that is so true, because these principles that we wrote, it actually works in, you know, that's why it's for relationships. And it works in every relationship. Your personal relationship, whether it's between you and your spouse, you and your girlfriend, business partners, co-workers, your boss, your children, your parents. It's for relationships. And that's for any type of relationship that's out there. And I promise you, if you use these principles, any relationship you're in, you'll receive a greater satisfaction of commitment and trust and love.
And you know what? It goes back to what I was saying too. You know, they work in social and networking environments. You know, if you're standing there talking to someone, if you are an effective listener, you're giving that person respect and listening to what they're saying without judging them, without thinking ahead of what they're going to say, thinking ahead of what you're going to say. And so you learn to be more respectful and a better listener when you're in a social environment. And so therefore you can help build better relationships, because you're not the one always dominating the conversation. So it works.
You know, Cynthia and James, you know, I appreciate y'all coming on board, doing what you do. Before it gets past me, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Well, we have several ways, but first of all, we want to give away a free gift, you guys.
Is that okay, William? If we give a free gift away?
Free? Now, you know, if it's free, you know it's for me.
Okay, so we have a gift that we want to give to you, but we need you to text the word communication to 201-7723. So if you want a free gift from James and Cynthia and our business, Marriage Built to Last, text the word communication to 443-201-7723. And you're going to get a nice little ebook from us that's going to give you some really good tips to carry you further in some of the things we've talked about and some additional information. And also follow us on our social media sites, Marriage Built to Last, on Facebook and Instagram, and our website. And then on Twitter, we're marriage B2L. That's the letter B. And our name is the numeral 2, not the word 2. So Marriage Built to Last.com. Yes.
www.marriagebuilt2last.com.
Yes.
And we also have a lot of other stuff where we have webinars that they can go to. Tell them about the webinars, baby.
Well, we don't want to give them too much, but the webinar the webinar is free. So if you want to go check out that, it's Marriage Built to Last webinars.com. Marriage Built to Last webinars.com. And you guys, we are best-selling authors. So if you want to get our books, if you go to our website, the link is there to get our book. We just have so much to share with you guys. So get plugged in. You can join our mailing list once you go to our website too. So get plugged in and find out all the great things that James and I will be doing.
So what we like to give them that secret sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That'll have their relationship. You know how you put a little bit of jalapeno peppers in your spaghetti sauce to make that secret sauce to give it that spice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they want, one thing about this hangout, it's on YouTube. It is on YouTube. It's on my page. Go to youtube.com/Mr. W. Murray. That's Murry. Mr. W. Murray. Murry. No A. And you can see this again. It's on YouTube. So it will be on my page.
All right.
Absolutely. Cool.
So you can go back, you can look over it again, write down the 7, see what you're doing wrong, and listen, and then follow through with the changes you need to do to build your relationship with your mate, with your loved ones, with your co-workers, with your life.
That's right. And see, that's what it is. It's just about life. You know, you just want to do life together. And you want to choose the correct steps so you can enjoy life. I mean, you live on this earth one time, so you need to enjoy it. So you need to take the necessary steps to have a successful life and enjoy life and do the things that's right.
Absolutely.
You know, I just had to bury one of my very good friends this week, and I spoke at the funeral, and I said something, and people came up to me talking, Mr. Murray, I never heard that. That I gave them a what if. And I said, think seriously about this what if. Everybody likes to dream. Everybody wants happiness. Everybody wants joy. Everybody wants wealth. So I said, now here's your if. What if your life is a dream, and when you die, you wake up? So you want to have a good dream. You always want to be pleasant and have a good dream.
That's good.
So in case when you do that, you know, you wake up, you know, the lessons are there. Because some people say, well, I've been here before. Well, your spirit. You got to realize your spirit is eternal.
Yes.
That's right.
There's no end to your spirit.
Absolutely. That's right. That's
so good.
That's so good. I like that.
Feel free.
All right, we're going to steal your line.
Yeah, we're going to steal your line.
Hey, go ahead, darling. Go ahead. Just give me my props. Just give me my props.
We're going to say we heard a dear friend who chaperoned us on our date night.
But what I like to also tell other people, William, is that powerful couples ask powerful questions.
That's right.
And them questions steer your focus. So I want to ask everybody, what are you focusing on in any relationship that you're in? Because if you claim you're a powerful couple, you will ask them powerful questions and they will steer your focus. So what are you focusing on?
That's good.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Greene, or Cynthia and James, I want to thank y'all for coming on board with me. It's fantastic. I sit down, I've written these things down, your 7 steps, and I'm going to text. Only reason I'm also on my phone because I've got people listening in through my phone.
Oh, okay.
So we've got more crowd than what you see on there because I've got, like I said, I got people on my phone too, and they can hear me.
We want to thank you for having us, William. It seemed like when we met at 72 Hours of Power, it was just a natural connection. And that's what it's all about. It's all about connecting. And when we met at 72 Hours of Power, it seemed like we just connected. And I appreciate you having us on there. And this is a friendship that'll last forever now.
Yep.
Oh, this is a lifelong thing, brother. Our spirits have connected.
That's right.
You are now and forever in my life space.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I have events coming up that I'm gonna call you about for you to participate in my events where you're gonna be on stage speaking and giving your lessons live. So people have one-on-ones with you and see what it is to really be a happy couple.
But you know what? We love collaborating. We believe that collaboration is the biggest and best thing that people can do in their business. When you find someone that you connect with and you can collaborate with, then you've got a support system that can just really not just boost your business, but it can boost you as a person because you've got somebody who's supporting you. You got my back, I got your back, and we're working together to affect the world. It's about impacting the world. One thing that I like to give one of my nuggets, as my husband likes to say, is that when we talk about relationships, especially when we talk about marriage, your marriage affects your family. Your family affects your community. Your community affects your society, and society affects the world. So everything you're doing in your household, it goes out into the world. And so we want to help you make a positive impact on the world. We know that there are great relationships, great marriages out there, and we believe that everyone can have one.
Oh, no doubt about that. No doubt. Everyone, you've been listening to Mr. and Mrs. Greene, relationship experts. And we met at an event, and our spirits, it's like we've been knowing each other almost forever. Our spirits, collided, and our spirits married because we've talked. We were together for the weekend, and we enjoyed it. And since then, we've been keeping in touch with each other. I see them on their Facebook page, and I like their stuff. They see mine and like mine. But what it is, this is all part of what I do with the Millionaire Mastermind Institute, MMI. If you want to stay connected with the Millionaire Mastermind Institute, our website is mminstitute.info. Or you can call us at 240-619-2019. That's 240-619 screen. I've got some things planned that they're going to be participating in where you can go one-on-one live with them. They gave you ways to stay in touch with them. The Institute builds millionaire mindsets and businesses. We help guide you, get you that life and that enjoyment, that wealth that you want. The experts that come on that are involved with the Millionaire Mastermind Institute are experts in their field of expertise. What are you struggling with? What do you need in your business? What do you need in your life? Just all you have to do is call the Institute, 240-619-2019, or go to mminstitute.info. And we'll stay in touch with you. We'll help you. We'll guide you. You never know. And here's the thing that I always try to put out there and I explain. Everything you're getting here and that you get through the Institute and through experts like Mr. and Mrs. Greene it's a blessing. Don't keep it. Give it away. Tell everyone about the Millionaire Mastermind Institute and how you get a chance to meet experts in all fields. You can also send me an email at wmurray6@gmail.com and tell me what you want, what you need, what you want me to put on this show for you. Now, let me tell you something else that the Institute does. Every Tuesday evening from 9 to 10:30, we have an empowerment session, conference call empowerment session. Wherever you are, just get on your phone, dial in. The number is 218-548-0510. That's 218-548-0510. And the PIN number is 1950#. 1950#. And that's every Tuesday evening from 9 to 10:30, an hour and a half of educators, or sometimes lessons from me, where we teach you how to build your wealth, that legacy, build your family, take care of your family, build your community. That's what this is. Take what you learned tonight from Mr. and Mrs. Greene and use it for your life.
Right.
Use it in your life and spread that sunshine across the world. Because when you spread it, baby, you go get it on yourself.
Come on now.
The more you grow. So come grow with us. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Tell your loved ones. Tell your coworkers. Look, y'all, we got this thing, the Millionaire Mastermind Institute. Y'all got to tune in. They are that awesome. You have to do that. So just share it. Give that blessing. In comments, Cynthia and James.
Yes,
we just want to encourage everyone. You know, we believe that you can have an impactful relationship with anyone that you want to have one with. I don't care how long that relationship may have been in disarray. It's just all about getting the proper tools to take that relationship to another level. And it's all about changing your mindset.
That's good.
It's about changing the mindset, but you gotta, sometimes people need specific tools. And so we firmly believe if you take the 7 tools that we talked about today, it will help your relationship. And William, I also want to make sure we share with everyone, we're going to be doing a live hangout just like William is doing tonight on Sunday night at 8 o'clock. And we got some awesome guests that's going to be on there from Atlanta. So join us, and another couple that lives in Essex, Maryland. So join us Sunday night at 8 o'clock. We'll be posting a link on our social media pages so that you can join us. And we're going to be talking about creating rituals in your relationship. And William, I know you and your wife have some great relationships because you mentioned how you tell her you love her. She tell you how you love her. So y'all seem like y'all do that all the time. So that's one of y'all little things. So we're going to be talking about some of those little things that you can do to keep the relationship fresh and fun and exciting.
And you know, when you know we're going to be talking, we're going to be chatting.
Yes.
We're doing a lot of events and things together.
Right.
Yes.
And for me, William, it's like,
I want to thank y'all for coming on.
Yeah. Okay. We appreciate you having us. We really do. And we love you, William. We really do.
Thank you, my brother. And I appreciate the fact that y'all accepted my offer, my invitation to come on my hangout and do what you did.
Anytime you need us, anytime if you need us, we're there. Believe it.
And honey, let's share with them what we always say.
If you build it, it will last.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, I'm Cynthia and James. I appreciate it more than you know.
All right,
and
well, you
have
have a great night.
Tuning in.
Yes.
I hope y'all tune in to me Tuesday evening on the on my empowerment section. That's what it is. It's a conference, but it is an empowerment section. We're going to empower you.
Yes, it's good too.
So until Tuesday evening, everyone, God bless.
God
All right.
bless.
Everyone, keep working on your road to success. Until
That's
next
it.
time, God bless.
Amen.
And
God
good night.
bless.
Thank you.